How's it going, everyone? Another episode of the Amateur Investors. It's Chris Alaimo here with my buddy Matt. We're going to be building a Bitcoin node using a Raspberry Pi. Obviously, you got your solid state drive here, and then also the case for the solid state drive. So, Vilros is kind of a Raspberry Pi provider, a manufacturer. So we're going to get into building it here. Put that up there.
Sure.
So there's the Raspberry Pi motherboard right there. This is the case. I'm going to be putting on, there's nice little rubber pegs that go into these various spots. So we'll do that.
While he's doing that, I'm going to be putting on heat sinks onto the Raspberry Pi itself for heat dispersion. Come in a nice little case, and that's what they look like. Little metal fins. And basically what you're doing is you're peeling off this blue backing and then just sticking it onto the adhesive, making direct contact.
Okay. So put the backing on the rubber things on the edge of each case. I opened it up, and then once Matt gets that all sorted out with getting the heat sinks on there, as you can see in the side of the screen right here, we're going to hook this up to the Raspberry Pi so that way we can run the fan here that'll help keep it cool, prevent it from overheating. In the meantime, I'm going to open up this case and stick the solid state drive in.
And in case you're wondering how I know which heat sinks go where, they do have a manual that can help with the installation, but you can also pretty much eyeball it. The size of the heat sink does usually correspond with the size of the element on the motherboard.
Pop this thing open.
Slides.
Yeah. And then I forget, what is this piece? Is it, or is that
it's just for vibrations? So
does that go in there or no?
You don't have to.
Okay. Take this solid state drive. Slips right in. It should.
Do you want to do it on that thing?
Yeah. So taking the solid state drive, and we're going to be slipping it right in.
So you're lining up the SATA data and SATA power ports on the SSD to match the one on the caddy. And then you just slide the acrylic cover over the top.
Oh.
There should be 2 threads, yeah, cutouts on the side. It'll catch.
There we go. Now it caught. Just slide that all the way down so you hear it click. You're all good. And then I think there's screws that go in here. Nope, that's it. Never mind. Okay. So next, we're going to be taking the Raspberry Pi. We're going to be attaching the fan into the pegs here. As you can see, probably they're higher resolution, but a better camera. But basically, we're going to be attaching to the pegs. It's the ones 2 nearest, I think.
Let me double check. So the black cable is going to run to pin number 14, and the red cable is going to run to pin number 1. So if you reorient it like this, pin number 1 for us over here is the top right corner, top rightmost here next to that heatsink. So that's the red.
Okay.
And then black is going to go to the 14. So that's 7 pins in on the bottom.
3, 4. And once you put it in, you'll feel a click. Like it's a pretty good feeling that it's like clicking into the Raspberry Pi there.
And then this is probably one of the least talked about pieces of the setup, but make sure you're getting a Raspberry Pi certified power supply, because there are a lot of knockoff brands and they typically don't have the correct power regulation, and so you can either end up underpowering the Pi or overpowering it. So again, Bill Ross is a certified OEM for Raspberry Pi as a reseller, and this is theirs. There's a nice little on and off switch, and then you can obviously turn the Pi on and off also through the UI on the OS interface. So
yep. As you can see, I lined up the Raspberry Pi, or at least the motherboard, inside the casing. It lines up with all the ports. You'll see there's little notches for the 3, for the USB ports as well, and for Ethernet connection, for internet connection, my bad. And then so basically it's just going to fit right on there. It's going to snap on. Don't worry, you won't break it, but it just snaps right into place. It's fit there. Okay.
And then basically what we're going to do now is we're just going to connect our USB 3.1 into the corresponding jack over here for the USB intake, because you can see that there's standard USB 2 and the faster speeds, and then the other side is going into a USB-C Gen 3. Or USB-C 3.1 Gen 2 specifically. And the reason why that's important is because we're trying to get the fastest data transfer rates that we can for the SSD. So USB-C 3.1 Gen 2 is going to give us 10 gigabits per second versus Gen 1, which is about half of that at 5. So this can live right on top, like so. And then
I'll untwist tie it so it's not sitting weird. It just sits right on top like that.
Yep. And then on the side here, what I'm going to do is there's another USB-C power source coming from the power supply. And then you would just plug it in.
And then the last thing that you'd need an internet connection. So you'd plug that in to right into your internet connection right there.
And then separately, what we're going to do also is this starter kit also comes with a 32 gigabyte Samsung EVO micro SD. So we're going to flash this with specifically Umbrel OS. There's a number of different kind of OS that you can use in order to take advantage of connecting the node to the Lightning Network. That just happens to be the one that we are most familiar with. And we'll be doing that through the use of this nice little converter
As you can see, there's
adapter.
On the top notch, this is kind of where that the micro USB can go. So you can just slide that in there.
Yeah, the micro SD is just going to slip right in. And then this gets connected directly into a USB slot on the computer.
And then you can flash that drive.
And then once that's done, we'll be taking it out. And right here on the bottom, opposite of the Ethernet connection and all the ports, there's a very tiny little slit which you'll face the SD card upside down, so the black side is facing you with the gold contacts, and you're just going to push it in with your nail. And once it's in, it's not really going to make like a click. It's going to feel pretty, it's just going to stop moving, and you'll know that that's connected. And then you just boot it up.
Yeah. Anything else we should add?
No. All the instructions are here. You'll see, links for everything.
We'll make sure, we'll make sure when we send this out to include the instructions, at least from Umbrel, for how to set it up from there. I'm unfamiliar with that. If you would like to use another program, I'm assuming it would be very similar for flashing the drive and setting it up with whatever OS that they have or operating system they have. So yeah, I hope that was helpful, guys. And, we hope to serve any other people. If you have any other questions, you can always reach out to us, DM us on Twitter or any of our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, you name it. You can also reach out to us through our website. You can order more if you want, or if any of your buddies or friends are looking for people to build basically the setup for you. If you want to do it yourself, we'd love for you to use this video. Let us know how it works. Any recommendations as well. And have a good one, everyone. Talk to you later. All right. Hey, how's it going, everyone? So we went to getumbrel.com, and then you kind of scroll down to like middle of the page, and it'll say install Umbrel on Raspberry Pi 4. You're going to click OK on that. And you go to the next. You're going to download Get Umbrel iOS or OS, which we started the file there. And then you're also going to download Valencia Etcher. Now what do we click into?
And then basically after that, you're going to just follow the prompts. So you're going to click again. We've already plugged in the micro SD card into the computer. And now we're just going to flash the OS onto the SD card because it originally comes with Raspberry Pi Noobs 3.5.0, but we're not going to be using that for the sake of this node. So here we are opening Etcher, and then you're going to click Flash from File.
Pull this. So then we're going to share my screen for the Etcher. So now we opened up Valencia Etcher. We're going to flash from File.
And then you're just going to find Umbrel right there.
You're going to find, so right now I'm just in downloads. You're going to find Umbrel right there. You're going to go open. You're going to select target. So this is when you want to select, what is it, 32 gigabyte right there?
Yep.
And that's not, I don't want to do it to my terabyte hard drive. Select, and then we're going to flash it. Format the disk.
It's doing it itself.
Okay.
It's flashing.
We're just going to wait for this to install for the time being. All right, guys, let's cut into the end of the flash. I'll probably have edited out the previous. You don't need to see the installation. Now validating, so this will take a little bit of time as well. All right, it's finished there. To get Umbrel. And then I think you're just gonna, so we're gonna remove the disk from your computer. Eject it.
Yep.
You're going to eject it, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take, like I said, the little micro SD card, and then kind of what Matt was showing before. You're going to turn it upside down. You're going to slid it into. You do feel a little bit of a click or a little bit of resistance, but you'll see that it's in there in the Raspberry Pi. And then I think the next thing is you're going to connect it to your SSD, which we have already done. You're going to connect it to a router, so this is when you plug it into the internet, and then from there you power it up using the power. Plug that in, power it up, and then that's when you're going to go to http://umbral.local, and then that's kind of when you're it's all set up, and then you'll start running it on Umbral on your computer. So like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks for sitting through this video. I hope this helped. We just want more people getting on the Bitcoin network, validating transactions, and basically helping secure the network. So hope that helps everyone. Catch you later. Have a good one.